like, let's think about this. So we're currently in version 104, right? And so for PlayStation and Xbox, it's pretty self-explanatory. Like, we can go around, we can rope off places, but 105 is just around the corner. It's currently, as of streaming / recording this one, what is today? The 26th? Today the 26th? I gotta get the day right. Yes, Monday. Vaulting is not in the game for us, but it will be shortly. So structures, bases, solo bases, a place to rope off quickly and cheaply initially is going to be very powerful in the very beginning, especially with 105. So a lot of these walls that we would typically use maybe aren't going to be the best in the future. Now, we'll go over vaulting in more detail, and we'll be doing it on the PC and showing off stuff that'll be going on there, because once that is complete over in the PC side, it's going to be submitted to Xbox and PlayStation for certification and all that. So basically, we'll get a nice heads up before it's coming to us. But yeah, to kind of quickly cover that, any craftable wall, whether it's low, high, or both, stacked up, you cannot vault over those things. So if we were to build a fence kit on this wall, you would not be able to vault over it. But without it, you could vault over this in version 105. Now, that's not the version we're currently in, as we are all in 104 on PlayStation and Xbox. We currently share the same versions. This is Zombie. So, but it's good to think in the future, if you're going to spend a lot of time building a base, you want to make sure that it's going to be good, or you want to future-proof it, so you don't have to worry about people just jumping over your walls, right? Because if you're relying on pre-made walls for your defense, which we have in a few builds for sure, but to cut back on cost and everything else, these walls are working great right now, but they won't in the future. So a build like this at the church is going to make a world of difference, because it's all enclosed and it has its own doorway. And if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure we can rope this off with just a fence, which is super cheap to get started. And then you can go on to the next phase, which is going to be, you know, adding to the perimeter. Let me go ahead and use this. Oh, quick note on building for the consoles. Get used to stocking up on duct tape, hatchets, splitting axes, saws, all that good stuff, because this glitch right here that restores durability is no longer in version 105. That's a big fat confirmed. We went over there. It was one of the things we tested when we were live streaming. Somebody said, try the tape glitch. I was like, oh, it'll still work. It does not. So things are going to go back to normal, as they should. Raiding is going to be more expensive. You can no longer do never-ending duct tape on your hatchets, splitting axes, and what have you. So definitely something to keep in mind. Definitely stockpile all the stuff that you will need in the future for raiding and for building. One of the things we like to use now, that you've seen us use many times, is the hatchet. You can use it to chop down trees, dismantle from the interior, and also build like a crafting hammer. You can still do those things, and you can still repair those things, or I should say the hatchet, but you will not be able to keep using duct tape over and over again in the same fashion. So definitely something to really, really consider. Okay, so let's grab our fence kit and show just how easy this bad boy is going to be to put together and how cheap it is. We're in Electro. Let me go ahead and throw this up. If you're not familiar with the area, Electro being D1C1, more specifically, we are at the top center of C1, just on the shoreline. Let me give you a nice little peek here, or get in position while you guys are taking that in. It's close to some spawn points, again, making it very strategic for you respawning if you get clapped as a fresh spawn, and keeping you far enough away from anybody who's geared that's spawning in, as server hopping nerf is definitely in play now for all of us. PC, consoles, PlayStation, Xbox, all that good stuff. So there's a lighthouse, there's the, what is this? This is Electro Docks. Here's Electro City. I hope I have a good view here. Not really, hang on. If we were chopping down most of the trees, you'd think we'd have a better view. An easy way to find this is if you can identify that you're in Cherno, you just look up towards the top of the hill, and if you see that spire, you're in the right place. Spire? Would it be the church top? I don't know what to call that. Oh, there's plenty of spawns in the area to definitely facilitate you getting there quickly. So another good reason why this is nice, and also having Industrial areas close by. As you know, it's a good place to gather up nails like this. And this is, if you're unaware, nails look like so. Have them highlighted. Oh, apparently they're wet. But I think it's very strategic and important. Even though the base may not be somewhere you live permanently, it's a good outpost for you to stage things, gather things, collect them. Bring them together, move them somewhere else, or even just collect them so you can pick them up with a vehicle later. I think you find now with 104, there's a lot more vehicle gameplay. That's, okay, knock on wood. That's when the vehicles work as they should. I know that's not always the case, but being close to a place like this where you can get a lot of these beginner resources, craftable things, nails, any car parts is definitely essential. And having it up on the hill, high ground is always good if you're talking about something defensible. Although, duly noted, the power plant across the way here definitely gives, opens you up to some crossfire and the apartments as well. And also the top of the hill just behind, or I should, this is the front of the church. Yeah, in front of the church right here. This used to be where the watering hole was at, but it is no longer. But you can drink from here if you have purified water or is it chlorine tablets? Chlorine tablets. Bingo. You can also use that to water a garden, so it makes it pretty good for a food source as well. There you go, chlorine tablets. Boom. Somebody said that isn't momentum. Says what? No duct tape. Glitch in 105. Yeah. Prepare yourself. Okay, so again, I like this because you can lock the gate right out of the gate. No pun intended. And you can block this off with one gate, or at least last time I checked you could. Please, please let it still be a thing. Okay, so if you're on the console, I'm going to make sure I leave PlayStation and Xbox stuff here. We'll go into like a gate and like a wall construction again for 104, because I know for a lot of people, it's the first time they're doing building. And I know I already have videos and guides out there, but I want something a little more up to date. But believe it or not, I did not know you could rotate these damn things. So when you have the fence kit out, you can rotate it by hitting up on the D-pad. Did anybody know that? Because I sure didn't. By the way, when you place the interior of the wall, it's going to be facing you. So this would be really easy to tear down if I placed it like this, because the soft side of the wall is facing outward towards the fountain. So I want to make sure I'm rotating it, so I'm going to get those two pillars as close as I can, and then hit up on the D-pad to flip it that way. And then we should be able to place with right trigger, and that is R2 for the PlayStation 4. Yep. And we'll go over this again, but this is kind of showing you just how accessible this can be. Now, I'm hoping I can do this with the door shut. Let's get our old shovel. By the way, industrial place is great for shovels, if you didn't know. Now you do. You're gonna let me do this with the doors open? No way. I actually wasn't sure if we had to put it on the interior or not. Guess we'll find out in a second, right? Not bad. Nice. Normally I would say secure a perimeter and use these walls, but with 105 coming soon enough, I would say make sure you're working small first in the interior and then work on probably just straight fences around and make it a very tight opening here, just because that's something you cannot vault over. And believe me, you can string vaults together pretty easily. It's there's no special command for it. You just come up next to a ledge, and to mantle it or to vault it, you jump as you normally would, and then if you can vault it, it'll just attach yourself to it. So I know we don't have it yet, but you might as well get used to it now, right? Alright, let's do this on the cheap. I think we have some planks in here that I put on the ground. Please tell me it didn't despawn. 6 might do it. We'll see. I don't know what we're going to call this build. The church building? The outpost? The electro outpost? I like that better. This is, where can you get a tent? You can find them in industrial areas for sure. Okay, let's do this on the cheap because I know we have to do a couple more builds after this, and I hope we have enough materials because we only have 3 boxes of nails. Another reason why the electro outpost is so good. Well, first of all, any church prefab building is good that opens up because you have these doors and it's a one-shot But we have a lot of trees around the area. We've got this water source immediately in front of us. You could use these walls as some sort of perimeter, but again, I would just assume that vaulting is in now even though it's not, and just kind of work from there, because it'll be in soon enough, and then if your base isn't vault proof, you're going to be in trouble. Let's go ahead and do the lower frame, and let me just show you an example of what is anti-vaulting. Definitely have to close the door, don't I? Oh, nice. Okay, so we can articulate through the door. Excellent. Or we can do an action through the door. Beautiful. So even though I can jump over this, I would not be able to vault over this. Anything that is built by the player, you cannot vault over. Even if it's this tall. I'm going to have to whip out the old M4, aren't I? Yes. As you know, in 104, you can sometimes get through that lower portion, but it's usually not great. Oh boy. I just locked myself out. No, we need the nails. Okay, looks like we might be disassembling that. That's not what I wanted to do. What kind of water source is that in front? It is a stagnant water source, so I would treat it as such. You would have to boil the water, or you would have to use chlorine. I'm basically raiding the front of my own structure. Pretty classy, huh? And if you look, the choke point inside of the entryway here makes it so you can put even more walls and even, I think, a tower on the inside? Even if you can't, you can create those little ledges on these fences, making it quite versatile for any kind of defense, or even just looking outside. I did not plan on having to break into my own front door. I'm pro, dude. I was hoping to salvage some of those parts, but I don't think that's going to be a thing, is it? Nope, I definitely need more planks. Yikes. Good thing we have another stack. Now, yeah, having the trees around so you can actually make more planks is nice, but it's definitely not the way to go long term. If you're trying to roughly get the door up, or it just got broken down, it's a good place to replenish if you need to, after you've been broken into, or they destroyed it, whatever. Yes? Lower frame, go. It's okay, we can fix it. Yes. Upper frame. Okay. As you know, I'm a big fan of doing the frame first, and then filling in the lower frame with wood or metal if you can afford it. In this case, we might have enough for metal. I think that we do. We're gonna have to build a gate here real fast. We're gonna go over that in more detail in another segment / video, depending on how and when you're watching this. I think we've got our... Yes, excellent. Okay, well, note to self, you're gonna have to build the gate if you want to get out. I build my base near Electro, and I hear shots all day and night. But nails are so easy to find. That's true. This is definitely a high traffic area. Do not kid yourself. This is definitely very dangerous. Can you open the door? I'm so dumb. I don't think I can reach that. Note to self, we might have to put this on the inside. Or scooch it over far enough. Or scooch it over far enough where we can see it. And like click it.
Or it's a trap base.
Yeah, we get somebody stuck. Trying to make out, dude?
Yeah.
Oh no, it works.
Oh. Hey, loophole.
Well, make sure you have enough gap in the front where you can close the front door, like, I guess one character width, or have it on the inside. You know, that's not half bad. Okay, and it'd normally be wooden, but since we don't have the planks, we're gonna do a lower metal wall, making it so you can't jump over or crawl through. Or, in 105's case, vault over, because it is a player constructed wall, so you're good to go. And in our case, we thought we were blocked, we just close the door, and then you can open the gate. Boom! It's not a lot to start, but it's enough to keep you going. And if you need to create an airlock on the front so you don't get domed from the smokestack at the power plant up on the hill, you can definitely make another section for an airlock, but at least this gets you going. Because I know, well, you've already seen from the live streams that sometimes taking off a combination lock while you're in the heat is not the best for your survival, so you may want to create an airlock on the inside if at all possible. Did I leave the extra fence kit here? Let's just see. So it's one wall. Most builds, if you're talking about a solo build, initially, you're going to have to do at least a wall or two. Is it not going to let me place in here? That's lame. So, note to self, it's definitely only on the outside. Yikes. I can't even get it to... Let me see if I can get this to work. Does it work on the interior? That's lame. There might be some positions maybe where you can place it, but apparently... Oh wait, I saw one. Oh wow, it's like on the... No, is it? I don't know if that's for every church prefab, but I would definitely test it out, because it looks like there's some spots where we definitely could place. But anyways, you can still do the exterior, which is the most important. And in our case, we'd have to add a watchtower and some walls on the side, but the opening could be on this side with the gate, leaving you a nice airlocked entrance. So it's a good start, it's a good outpost. It's not an end-all be-all, but it's definitely going to get you on your feet, keep people at the at bay long enough for you to at least counter. As you've already seen with the warehouse base, the one we were currently using actively in an official server. It's getting late, right? I can't even say official. An official server. And it's right in Electro. I just love the fact that it's one fence kit to get you going. Yeah! What's that? I feel like I'm missing something. I might be. And finding a combination locks is definitely going to be easy because you're close to all of the, not residential, but industrial zones. No, it's not terrible. I wouldn't say you could drive a vehicle up here easily. I mean, you could, but I mean, it's pretty choppy. Electro's not the best place to drive a vehicle right now on consoles. Let's get real. But definitely good for foot stuff or on foot stuff, and it's definitely going to get you on your feet almost immediately because you'll spawn sometimes right here in Electro. Well, on the shoreline in Electro, but close enough.